you? How's everyone doing? Let's start with the news. The Eagle 3 helicopter from the United States Park Police is drawing a lot of attention in Washington, D.C. Something strange is happening in the capital of the United States. Also, well, a rare sight. Listen to this sound. According to reports, this would be in Dallas, Texas. And well, in all of Texas, there are about 300 mosques, approximately. Even so, they make up only about 1 to 2% in an overwhelmingly Christian society. Although what is increasing more than, let's say, other religions? What is increasing is that more and more people are stating in their information that they do not belong to any religion. Secularism, let's say, is what is increasing the most in the United States, according to statistics. Obviously, either way, it's going to be interesting to see these kinds of images too. Well, check out this image. In the place where the famous Ebola outbreak is, there have been reports of riots. And the thing is, look, the president of the Democratic Republic of the Congo is changing the laws to allow for re-election. President Felix Tshisekedi wants to stay in power. And people are, well, really angry. At least some people are angry and are rioting to prevent this situation. The following image also draws attention. That moment, that explosion, according to what CEDCOM in the United States reported and declassified, appears to show a situation unfolding in Venezuela. Well, right now we're going to talk about all the details of what's happening in that region of the world. We're also going to talk about a surprising case, a very interesting case, in which CIA documents have now been released. A 1958 document would confirm, then an alleged message from space, or at least what was believed to be space. The origin isn't very clear, but what stands out is the way the information was altered, let's say, so that this wouldn't be known. An alleged message from intelligent beings in other regions of the world, well, we're going to talk about that topic too, which we're seeing in this image.
We're looking at the first modular anti-air shelter. This would be in Estonia, a Baltic country. Yes, a Baltic country. It's part of the preparations these countries are making for a possible war with Russia.
Well, we're starting today with these first images. Thank you very much. A big hello to everyone. I don't know if you can tell, but this eye is kind of half closed. You know, this one, it's kind of half closed. I got a bump here. No, you didn't hit me? No.
It wasn't
you before.
Start.
No,
Tell them that you got into a fight with a racket.
Yeah, I got into a fight with a racket. I smacked myself with a racket. Well, you know, it's just part of the job since, well, I'm a professional tennis player. No, but yeah. I got hit with a racket during a play, the last play of the day, and I hit myself with the racket. But anyway, I think it's not that noticeable for sure. I don't think it's that noticeable. How have you been? How's everything going? Happy weekend. I hope you're having a great time. And look at the traffic. Like this. Now, just like in other times, in other years, honestly, there's impressively little traffic. I imagine people were watching the World Cup because it's Friday, and on Fridays people always go crazy with the traffic. There's a ton of traffic, and it was super calm. I said, what? Where did everyone go? I mean, honestly, this really impressed me. Thank you. Greetings to Lovak's dad. Greetings also to the whole community that's watching us here. Who else? Adan. That's awesome. Welcome to everyone in the community joining us. Let's dive into the details. Thanks for being part of the best community in the universe. And well, I mean, I do recommend the channel, but not to everyone. I recommend the channel to people who are cool, not just to anyone, because we want it to keep being a great community. Now, if you want to help us out just by being here, that's enough. Talking, having conversations. I mean, beyond likes and all that, the idea is to have conversations. That's the point. So let's talk, because between the nonsense from Mr. Trompetas and the nonsense from the Ayatollahs and all that, things are also happening in Venezuela. Things are happening in Iraq that sound more like coup attempts. It seems like Iraq could collapse. I mean, the way things are going, it's possible that Iraq could take a turn and become a pro-Iranian country, right? I mean, are things happening in Iraq? I think that's where we should focus our attention right now, especially considering that things are moving that way. He's liking the move, isn't he? I mean, the move has been working out well for him. Look, I've even seen the most pro-Trump analysts, those who actually do good analysis, because there are some who just talk nonsense, right? Propaganda? But even among the most pro-Trump analysts, they're scared. It's already at the point where you can say, Iran has won. I mean, they've won strategically so far. And you might say, well, yes, they lost Ali Khamenei, but you say they're in crisis. But they were already in crisis. They were going through one of the worst crises in their history, drought and everything. A little more or a little less crisis, honestly, doesn't make any difference to them. What you also see is that they still have influence, subtly influencing the pro-Iranian militia inside Iraq, in Hezbollah, in Hamas, in this militia of, what's it called? The Quds? Well, that's them. They're part of Iran itself, but they operate abroad, the Quds force. Given this, what's happening in Iraq right now? Well, I think it would be quite surprising. It's known that operations are taking place in those areas. There are movements happening. It was a group of people who were going to try to eliminate all the high-ranking officials they could. Iraq reportedly detained today a cell linked to former dictator Saddam Hussein. Or can you imagine what time we're talking about? The famous Desert War. Do you remember the dictator Saddam Hussein? Well, now there's an investigation pointing to the Director of National Security Services, Abd al-Karim al-Barsi. The institution's spokesperson and Baghdad's head of security are under investigation. There is a unit and an operation that was being carried out internally in the pro-Saddam Hussein government to eliminate a lot of high-ranking officials. The operation by the Iraqi security forces in Baghdad ended with the capture of a group accused of already carrying out an operation. A kind of plan in which they were going to eliminate them, they were going to kill them, right? It was a plot attributed to supposed members of a national group called the Iraqi National Group for Liberation and Change. That group is linked to Saddam Hussein, right? It's linked to that person, an organization with ties to this individual. Who, by the way, do you remember how he died? He was hanged, right? I mean, Saddam Hussein was hanged in the United States, right? Yes, in the United States. And besides that, the images were made public. Well, they were public because the images were leaked, right? So basically what they did was a spectacle. So, many people, even in the United States, disagree with that decision. In fact, there have been many documented cases of people who lived through the worst part of what was Saddam Hussein's Iraq. And years later, they would say, well, look, we were the ones who were crushed. We were from the opposing group. Yes. But compared to what people in Iraq are experiencing now, they would definitely say it was better back then. The change was worse. It brought worse things. Now, as time has gone on, I mean, maybe now they think differently. I don't know, right? But at least in the first years, they said the chaos lasted a long time. It was very extensive. The crisis, this chaos that attempt to form a government, it's still a problem right now. Right now, there are pro-Iranian politicians who are trying to get into power. And the United States already stepped in and said, let's see if you will. A real attempt at democracy, but at the same time, you can't have this individual leading a country. Why? Because he had ties with the Ayatollah at that time, Ali, and now he wasn't there anymore, right? But the point is, could this be an attempted coup d'etat? A move by groups to seize power. And by the way, those San Jose groups are still there, still operating. They still have, well, the idea of returning to power and for those groups to control the country again. The investigation identified as possible targets the Director of Security Services. Just imagine that the spokesperson and also the head of security. In the statement, they included a video in which one of the arrested swore allegiance to Yamal Mustafa Abdallah Sultan. This person is a former official of Saddam Hussein's regime. And well, we're talking about this individual being married to Ala Hussein, who is Saddam Hussein's youngest daughter. So, I mean, it's all in the family. Exactly. He's related, right? Well, he's related to Saddam Hussein, and well, this individual, by the way, was kind of like him, He was like the Maduro of those times, right? I mean, he was very flamboyant, very over the top. He would come out with these golden weapons, shoot them, and let's say he would do his crazy things, right?
Like the cousin, but a little less funny than the big-haired Maduro guy.
Yes, exactly, right? The super, what's it called? Super mustache. Super mustache.
Super mustache.
Well, yes, no, it was a bit more of a serious style, let's say, but still, no.
It's not funny.
Otherwise, it lacks the charm of this Maduro guy, who at least makes you laugh. But they are characters who, I mean, in the end are dictators, right? And that, well, remember that in the end, he tried to take Kuwait, right? That was, well, the straw that broke the camel's back, and then everything else happened after that. The rest is history, but it was complicated to remove him. I mean, the situation wasn't easy, and now imagine Iran and Iraq united. I mean, it would be, yes, amazing, right? I mean, it would be another move against it. And as they say, it's good fishing in troubled waters. I mean, right now, watch out for these countries that might have some instability because they could take advantage, right? I mean, they could. Now, a big shout out to Luis Garcia. He says like number 21 is lucky. That's great.
Thanks, Luis Garcia. How's soccer going for you?
Hey, that's true.
How did I leave you with so many ads?
Are you returning to the national team, Luis, or what's the situation? No. He still can. Luis Garcia, 68888 billion. Greetings, Luis. You know, also say hi. Hi, Infinity Music Studio. I was saying every time I go live, those from Colombia are always there. Look, Infinity 6 from Colombia.
Greetings, Infinity.
It's impressive. There has always been, I mean, since the Green Route, Colombia has always been one of the countries that watches us the most. But I feel like they're the ones who comment the least. Maybe it's just because they never say which country they're from, but people from Chile, Argentina, Costa Rica, I mean, from other countries always comment. From Costa Rica, from here, from, well, maybe that's what's happening. Thanks for letting us know you're there, and hi to Canela too. How are things in Argentina? No, don't go and win the World Cup again, please. That's enough. You already have too many World Cups. Give others a chance.
You're right.
They don't have 3, right? They don't have 3 World Cups. Well, he has a lot. It's not even Brazil. It's already forbidden for them.
Brazil and Argentina have the most, yes.
Well, let's move on to other matters. Let's move on to other important topics as well. Hey, well, they've been reporting, pay attention to that issue, because they've been reporting some drones. I mean, about the tax agreement, I insist. I don't see how it would work. Look, I want to send a special greeting to Darwin Blanco. Greetings. I think he read my mind and I saw him. Maybe I'm imagining it, but as far as I know, I saw him here. I don't know if you see him. That's wild. I was imagining it, but there he is. Look at it.
There he
Darwin in white. I mean, I think that, I don't know if you can or not, but that's it. Just so that those who live in, well, anywhere in the world know that they have a place here. I mean, here you can comment, you can send us audio messages and tell us, hey, Pepe, is this happening here? Is this happening there? I don't know, obviously because of each person's work. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But for the community to know that here they have a space that can obviously also be anonymous. I mean, if that's what you want, right? And not say your name, just say, look, this situation is happening in this place. I think about this, that's right. It's very important for them to know that this space is there. Sometimes I do need to remind myself, because the other day I was watching a video of the first videos we used to make. I think there was a hurricane. I don't know. And yes, I remembered it much more. And yes, of course, a lot more voice messages and comments were coming in. And that's something I'd like to bring back, because otherwise we get a lot of emails. But what about here? I'm just sharing the information I have. But it would be interesting, and I think the community should participate and have a space. You know that here, well, it's permanent, and you can just say Pepe. Is this happening in Costa Rica or is this happening? And so on, right? I mean, I insist, I do get a lot. But comments, I mean, not text, send us a voice message so we can hear you. Tapatia Plus, how have you been? In that video with around 1,000 views, maybe 1,017 or 1,018, there's a comment from Tapatia. Patia, when you mentioned the heat earlier, I was checking out some old comments from years ago and thought it was cool that several of you were around then. Luis, how have you been? Panterita, Javier, Roberto. Then there's a situation where attacks are happening. Where?
Exactly. Well, Iran today, this afternoon, about 2 hours ago, he stated that the United States will have to shoot down Iranian attack drones. And what they publish on X is the following. And they will continue. They launched several one-way attack drones in an attempt to attack merchant ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. forces, we shot them all down in the last few hours. While maritime traffic through the strait continues without interruption, the international trade corridor remains open to transit. That's something I've been hearing since this morning. They say the strait is open, and Iran says it isn't. But like everything in this war, they tell you both versions, and both are happening at the same time. Is it a quantum war? Basically, yeah.
It's a war. It's a war where everything happens and nothing happens. No,
Happen.
that's it. You just nailed it. I mean, it's crazy. Honestly, it's a war that's not even...
No, it's not even seeing.
For a war, it's a war.
It's not war. I mean,
Well, it's supposed to not be a war. It's an exclusion. It's
an excursion.
Well, look, war or no war, just in the Lebanon area, more than 3,000 people have lost their lives. Just in Lebanon, because that war started again there, right? It started again in March. On the 2nd is when it started again. Pretty much at the same time. They start attacking in Lebanon, and then Israel turns around and says, so are we going to do the same? And obviously, things are starting to get super intense right now, Walter. Let me share the link for you and for the whole community. What's the link for, what's it called? For Telegram. Look, the link will be there. I'm going to put it. Well, actually, I think you have to put it because it won't let me. No, I can't. Pin it. But that's the Telegram, the Telegram link. So you don't lose it. And you can send us a voice message there, right? We're also going to have a WhatsApp as well. So you can send us a voice message and tell us, hey, babe, this is what's going on. Well, we'll just post it here, right? Great, Fabian. How have you been? Greetings, Anna Hughes. Big greetings. How are things over there, Anna? Tell us, will you? Anna is in Costa Rica, right? If you want to, yes. Because I saw that you kept watching even days later. I don't know if it got more intense or what happened there. If you can tell me, Fabian, what's up? How have you been? Well, among these drones that are around here, the Shahed types or Shaheds, right? These are waves. It's not just a little drone or anything. And it caught my attention that there were several posts yesterday and today where people on Twitter were uploading images of drones flying over the Gulf countries, right? But just flying around, not attacking. But rather, where are they? They're attacking more as psychological warfare. Yes, psychological warfare. Constant psychological warfare, right? To say, we're here, right? We're watching you. We're close. We can attack those kinds of details. But obviously, no, they're not right. No, us too. But it's also part of the reminder they want to send. Now, what else is happening in that region, in Hormuz and Iran, and this whole situation?
Well, the United Arab Emirates right now today are saying that they will release billions of dollars for Iran if this agreement is signed.
They'll release money for Iran and reward them. So yes.
Basically, it says the United Arab Emirates has agreed to release billions of dollars for Iran, according to 4 sources. This is a tactical shift because 3 weeks ago, they were the ones most under attack, remember? In fact, at one point, they also attacked Iran. And it was an issue that, nobody wanted to talk about until this matter came to light, that the United Arab Emirates had also participated actively. And that news just hadn't been made public before. If it's known that there were certain countries willing to give Iran money just so he would sign, now it's coming to light. And it creates a lot of controversy, doesn't it? Because it involves releasing tens of billions to a country that, what they're thinking. They've already said openly, the spokesperson for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which is to buy more weapons.
Buy more weapons, of course. I mean, that's the approach. right? I mean, well, yes, that's how it is. That's how it is more or less.
The amount, according to these two sources that released the information, is that they had agreed on a total worth $10 billion, of which more than $3 billion have already been delivered.
So it's already there. The money is already flowing, right?
It says, according to two other sources familiar with the agreement, the total amount of funds involved is 20 billion, not 10 billion, $20 billion, double. And they add that the measure was agreed upon in exchange for stopping Iranian attacks against the United Arab Emirates. So they paid for that. They haven't been attacked anymore. Not them or Saudi Arabia either. Saudi Arabia probably paid too, because I don't think it's out of goodwill.
No, it's not out of goodwill. Of course not. I mean, and we talked about it here 2 or 3 days ago. Remember, we said, hey, they're not attacking Saudi Arabia anymore. They're not attacking the United Arab Emirates. Now they're going after Kuwait. I mean, it's all about money in the end.
Exactly. They still haven't clarified this, nor have the people leaking the information. Is it money that the United Arab Emirates gives to Iran, or is it money that was frozen and is now being released?
That's how I understand it. I do understand that it's frozen money, not just regular money, because otherwise there's no point. I mean, it's frozen money. So why? They're already heading that way, right? That's what I think. But we'll need more details. Anything else on this?
Well, there is already a reaction from the United Arab Emirates to this publication, because this was published and that's it. There was just a rumor in the afternoon, but now there's already a reaction saying it's completely false and unfounded. And they have emphasized that no Iranian funds have been frozen, have not been released, have not been transferred, and have not been made available again. They say no, but, well, that's what they say.
Well, let's see. Also, look at what's happening. Just to wrap up what's going on with Iran and this whole situation. Would a series of Russian-made missiles have been added to what they're doing? I mean, that obviously catches my attention too. Has Iran been using Russian-made missiles in rebuilding its arsenal? During these days or weeks that they've been in a sort of ceasefire and have been rebuilding the factories, you can see direct support from Russia. Exactly. According to the intelligence report, Iran has about 3/4 of the munitions it had before the war and can increase
its arsenal easily. This includes Russian missiles. They don't specify which ones, but they probably came off the production line last year, according to this intelligence report. The Russian Ministry of Defense has obviously not responded to this information. But anyway, President Donald Trump had stated that Iran only had between 21% and 22% of its missiles. But actually, it would be the other way around. That's what was spent. And the rest is what they still have, right? Which is 3/4.
He says that after the war ended, gas and food, everything went up. Gas is at 3.74 per gallon. Damn. Luis Garcia says, how have you been, Luis? I mean, gas prices are up. Food prices are up. So obviously that creates instability. It wasn't a lightning operation. And I think that whole idea of a lightning operation, we should learn that those are no longer possible. I mean, especially in countries that have been preparing for something like this their whole lives, right? I mean, in any case, if you're going to get into a fight, then you're going to get into it with a long-term strategy and say, well, it's going to be like this, like this, like this, because of this situation, or you don't get involved at all. With intelligence work, much more could have been achieved than what is being achieved now. And, well, I mean, that's what I think is going to be the way out for the conflict that's happening right now. They'll keep using cyber warfare, blockades, and intelligence by Israel and possibly the US. A big greeting as well to Anna Hughes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For that membership that, by the way, Marvin received. Awesome. Congratulations, Marvin. And well, stay tuned for surprises. By the way, I hope the channel members like them, and well, you'll see them soon. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's move on to other important details. Thanks. All right, let's move on to other important matters happening in the world. Right now, we're going to talk, by the way, about a World Cup case, one of those betting cases that can change your life. Well, for the worse. Yes, for the worse. I mean, I put that twist in the title because yes, it obviously changes your life, but it changes your life for the worse. I'm sure there are many positive stories, but this time it wasn't like that. The United States and Paraguay played, and honestly, a lot of people were rooting for Paraguay. I wanted Paraguay to win. I think Paraguay won. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I wanted Paraguay to win. In the end, I don't know. We're more connected by the whole Hispanic vibe and all that. And besides, there's a lot of rivalry between the US and Mexico teams. So it's like, no, I wanted Paraguay to win, even if it had been Timbuktu. But anyway, we were rooting for Paraguay. But well, the United States wins. They seem to have a more organized soccer team than Paraguay, even though I haven't seen the game yet. And Paraguay loses 3-1. Well, that's how I left it. I don't know if the result changed. The point is that someone made a massive bet.
Yes. Well, today I posted on Polymarket Sports that someone had bet 1.8 million that the United States would lose in the match against Paraguay today. And well, obviously they lost. And the payout is $3,507 on Polymarket. But anyway.
How much does he lose? I mean, he loses, I think, 1.8, right?
Well, yeah, what he put in, right?
How much does he lose? 1.8? 1.8 thousand?
That's what he put in, but you have to, I mean, he has to pay separately or not. 4-1, of course, 4.
One left. One. I mean, a blowout by the United States against Paraguay. And not only that, they made this guy lose $1.8 million. Wait, you don't have to pay extra? No, I don't know. But I think whether it's extra or not right now, I mean, he's crying.
Those who bet against him won the money.
Well, yes. I mean, 4-1, Darby Darwin Blanco, 4-1 to Adaiso. Exactly. That's how it ended up. But obviously, that's how betting is, right? I mean, now, if someone bet, I guess, $1.8 million and must have said, I'm going for the sure thing, right? Paraguay is going to win. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the analysis was to bet that amount of money. I mean, look.
Polymarket says that the percentage chance of Paraguay winning was 1 in a million. So this person would have said, if Paraguay wins, I'll win. I'm going to make bank. Yes, obviously, but it didn't happen, which is why it's just 1%.
It must be someone who has a lot of money, but at least, I mean, I think like Drake. Yes.
He loves to bet and lose.
He loves to bet against what most people do. But he has also lost a lot of money.
I don't know how she does it since she doesn't sing that well.
He likes the underdog thing. I mean, like betting on the one with fewer chances. Apparently, Paraguay had fewer chances. But anyway, they could have surprised everyone. And if they did, right? In the end, this could have helped score one. But that's not how you bet. You don't bet, in theory, on the so-called safe ones, right? Or maybe you just don't bet. He said, that's up to each person now. He says he didn't put in 1.5. And he says he did. He did. No, he put in 1.5 and lost it. Because we would have to see if he didn't sell his position when it reached the second or third. That could also be, it could be that he sold his position and maybe his loss wasn't total. But the point is that one was lost in the process, right? I mean, that's now. And then there are these bets that are not only about who wins and who loses, but there are also other bets they're making right now in the World Cup about external things, right? Like what a specific event is going to be like, for example. And now they bet on what it was. I mean, it's not even about the sport itself anymore, but about other things. And that's something we'll be talking about over the next few days. But there are some very, very interesting things happening. Tron said a few weeks ago that the world is a casino. That's what he said, right? Well, look, I don't think it's a casino, but they're turning it into one if that's where we're headed. And if we're going to keep talking about that, then the bets are going to be on anything they can think of, right? I mean, and very easy to manipulate, like what happened at that French airport, right? French, right? At the airport where they changed the temperature to win a bet. Just imagine how crazy that is. He says, Pate, how are you, little panther? Marvin, hello to everyone in the community who's joining us. Let's move on to other topics, shall we? What else?
Let's go, since we're on soccer.
Let's discuss what's happening. These places are so unsafe. I don't get why they host World Cups there. But anyway, today in the United States, England got robbed. They even took their shoes. They literally left them with nothing but a ball. This happened during their transfer from Florida to their training base, which will be in Kansas City. And well, it turns out that the van where they had all their equipment was robbed. They stole everything before they even got to their first training session in Kansas City. And well, obviously, right now an investigation is being carried out to find out who the heck took all of this. I don't know if it was something planned, if they had already been identified or what the deal was, but well, they report that the sneakers belonging to all the players were stolen, all the official balls were stolen, and training equipment was stolen. Deal. And the theft took place during the shipment, when the shipment was going from West Palm Beach, Florida, to the Swab Soccer Village base in Missouri, where they were going to be for at least the next 3 weeks. So,
I mean, it gets stolen during the transfer.
yes, during the transfer, they stole what was in the van. What a bunch. So, yeah, the plan seems pretty elaborate.
I don't think it was a coincidence. I thought it was during the transfer. No, let's say the plan was intense. I don't think it was a coincidence. I thought it happened in the, what's it called? In the locker or something, and that someone saw an easy opportunity and didn't. So do you think
the drivers are involved? I mean, that's the suspicion. The English Football Federation is currently working with the local police in an attempt to recover the equipment. Because at the end of the day, it's not easy. Does it delay their training? And the staff from England had also prepared all the essential training equipment for the trip, starting from the pre-camp in Florida. Because first they go to Florida to train, and now they're going to Kansas, and well, that's it. It's tough, isn't it?
because it's no small thing? Well, that's how things are. And when that happened, I said, as long as it's not in Mexico, and well, it was in Kansas. Yeah. Well, what a bummer, right? There's a lot there tied to the security of the United States. And look, the United States won 4-1 today, right? And here Novaga's dad says something very interesting. He says, the North Americans were faster and more athletic. The South Americans never put together precise plays. They lack footballing quality, they're skilled, but they couldn't handle the strength of the United States. I mean, in the end, the United States is very disciplined. I mean, that's something they have. That's a characteristic of their national team. I mean, they're disciplined. And maybe they don't have the beautiful style of play like Colombia, Brazil, or other countries, but they do have discipline, right? They have strategy, those kinds of things. And well, I imagine that was the advantage against the Paraguayans in that. Unfortunately, Paraguay couldn't win this time. Now that I remember, I mean, I don't know if it's really about the World Cup, really about soccer. I don't know. I have the feeling, and if not, correct me, that it's more of a baseball thing. I don't know. Paraguay. That's what comes to mind for me. I don't know. We'd have to check, right? But I don't really remember them as being really good in the cup, Doctor. I don't know, really. I don't know if maybe they are, but is there anyone there who can correct me? So, is it from, he says, so they stripped them naked? Bald? Well, no.
Up to their balls.
They didn't leave them up to their balls and naked. They even took their balls too.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, yeah, no. Well, they really left them with nothing. It's not bad. It's bad, says Pepe. I already sent you the link, but I can't send you a message to Canyon. Let me see. Hold on a second. It's just that. You see, there's a comment option there, right?
Yours does say leave a comment below the submission link.
Below the link? Just imagine that below where it says each link, it says leave a comment. And that's where you add it. Like the group. But actually, I'll send you the group where comments are left like that.
Do it for me with a very good.
This one.
You can't, can you?
I mean, I can put the link just there. I pin it. You pin it. Yeah, you pin it. Exactly. Let me do it. I'll put it up. In the meantime, what else? What else are people saying over?
Well, let's say hi to Anna Hughes. How are you? She's here too, says Novak's dad. Tomorrow, Brazil will beat Morocco 3-1, Scotland 2-0 against Haiti, and Australia will tie 0-0 with Turkey, says Novak's dad. Huh? He says, do this. Yes, they're about soccer, but they missed several World Cups after failing to qualify. He was one of the best defenders, but that's why the result is so surprising.
I mean, they've done well at other times then.
But here in the United States or Paraguay?
Not Paraguay, or I mean, you asked them, right?
I ask because I'm unsure who they're referring to. I know they're from soccer and have been to several World Cups to get there.
Yes, they're from soccer, but they haven't done well. They haven't done well. No, 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 no.
No, and greetings to Tapatia, says Liceo. To be a really good actor, commit the fewest fouls and technicals. It's recorded and they don't show it. No, 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 no. You must not be a very good actor. Yeah. Good turkey, he says. Now it changed. Now if I hit like it goes hippie daughter, hippieing, and it doesn't let me in anymore. The chat says, more than just going too far, it doesn't let you do things right now.
How strange. How strange. Yeah, I mean, like, this one can't be shared. I mean, it can't be shared. There's no way. I mean, more than just going in, as you mentioned. Well, it's a comment in the links that appear there in Telegram. It says add comment, and it should show up for you, right? There it should show you like how to send messages, and I'm trying to find a way for it to be seen directly if there's a way. And well, I'll leave it active right now too, okay? This one.
And greetings to Domingo. How are you, Domingo Lagunes? He says, greetings. I'm late this time because I was at the movies. I recommend the movie to you all. And do we already need a green route or something similar? Which movie?
Yes, the movie, the one by Spielberg. That's it. That's it.
How did you go see it, Domingo?
Huh? Nothing else? Nothing else?
Didn't say.
Which movie? Well, yeah, but which other one? I mean, it's a lot. Right now, everyone is talking about it.
Carlos Martin says, the United States doesn't have a better team since they're not very interested in soccer and have plenty of money.
That's it. It's already perfect.
They lack a better team because they're not interested in soccer.
Try this link. This link. If you can put it, that one takes me. It sends me directly. Wait. Is it the same one? Yes or no? Because it's the same one. It's just automatically giving me a direct link. Now it tells me that it's already working. I mean that now with this link, the one that was already pinned, if I want to put it again.
There it is.
Yes. Okay. Well, now you can send me messages directly. So that's cool too. And right now we'll try to see if we can send audio too. This is new. This option shows up here. So that's awesome.
Greetings to Nova's dad, who says, in French, politics has nothing to do with morality. Politics is the art of deception. That's what Nicolas Machiavelli said. Look.
Greetings, Noah's dad.
Greetings, Marvin also says, we're starting. Oh, what's happening is that it's taking me a while to start. I'm sharing it. I missed it.
Look, there it is. That's the live one. In theory, that's how you can send the message directly. Try it. Let's see. Try it with that last one I sent you. Let's see what happens. And let's move on to some other important matters as well. Hey, look, there are a series of documents that have been appearing. Today, the third round of messages related to the UFO topic took place. No, and in these documents, there's this one that's here on the screen from June 8, I think. June 8, 1958. The document is dated, one of many documents that surfaced containing UFO testimonies from different people to the government, including images we published in the previous video. The new documents also have information about the chair, which is dated January 9th, 1958. The document directly mentions the researcher, Dr. Leon Davidson. Imagine one of the most active figures in the investigation of flying objects during the 1950s. Imagine, a predecessor, a person who was really ahead of his time, right? According to the memorandum, Davidson was looking for answers about the supposed space message picked up through radio signals. There it is, through a radio message. He picked up a message and recorded it, which supposedly came from intelligent beings from other parts of the universe. The CIA reported that it couldn't solve the case because the records related to the signal and its transmitter had been destroyed by the evaluating agency. This point is the most striking in the document because the message that was given was, did the memorandum disappear? What it does indicate is that the authorities considered that the signal had a terrestrial origin, and they at least ruled out that it came from space. The text shows there were already contradictions and challenges among agencies in giving a unified response to the incident. This situation, let's say this mishandling of information, and the fact that they deleted the document because they said, no, well, it's false, so delete it. You say, well, there's still a record. Because if you leave the record that you deleted it, right? I mean, then you say, well, if it was useless and it's nothing, then you just delete everything. But if not, why don't you leave the message? And to begin with, why is there that black mark there, right? I mean, right away, what happened, right? I mean, where is the information? Because here I see it more like there was censorship, right? Regardless of whether the message comes from somewhere else or not. I mean, the message isn't complete, or it's let's say they themselves make it disappear. No, it doesn't prove anything strange, but it does show they wanted to hide it. No.
Exactly. The document includes a curious comment. There were too many cooks in the kitchen, which means that there were many organizations that were handling or meddling with this case. The document also shows a lot of concern because it responds to the investigator without contradicting previous statements from various government agencies, and also the section that was censored for decades. Now it can be read. And they discuss Davidson's contacts with people involved in investigations about flying saucers. The CIA concludes the memorandum with a phrase that Wolf is out, which is, "We are sure we will hear from Davidson again." There it is, right? I mean, they kind of knew more information was going to come, right? Davis that, oh, and I already...
There it is, right? I mean, they kind of knew more information was going to come, right? Look. Let's see, let's listen to Marvin, and I already saw your message, Darwin. Darwin Blanco also already sent me a message, but it's a text message. And look, here's Marvin speaking. Let's listen to his greeting for a bit.
Hello, Pepe and Astrid. Greetings from Los Angeles. Greetings to everyone in the chat. Have a happy weekend. And long live soccer. Long live Mexico too.
Eso. Buenísimo, Marvin. Well, big greetings, and how nice. Well, just a user here in the chat. Nos hacen sentir muchísimo más. Man, this is really cool. Gracias, Marvin. Enorme saludo. And well, so, también saludos a Darwin Blanco. For those who want to, there it is. You can go ahead and leave a comment, send a message, a greeting, whatever. Or not. Darwin is great. I even go all the way to Los Angeles, California, and there you are. Marvin is awesome, he says. It's wake of this year. Greetings. Wake of Magulandia, he says. Is Mexico missing? On Monday, I watched the Uruguay match. Guys, ready to cry, I swear. Uruguay loses to Saudi Arabia. Don't keep going. All the Uruguayans are always in Europe, and they're like that. Use this one, but anyway. Saudi Arabia has put a lot of money into football. I don't know how they're doing right now, but I guess they've invested a lot, right? And the sheikhs are really passionate about football.
Right.
Yeah, apparently, yes. Greetings to Magulandia, says Fernando. Greetings, Pepe from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Greetings to Guayaquil, thanks. How are you? This is for Ecuador. Thank you very much for commenting. Ecuadorians, how are they when it comes to soccer? Fernando, I mean, are they more into soccer? Are they more into baseball? For example, with Venezuela, it's clear to me, it's baseball. I mean, they have their team, their national team and everything, but I think they're more internationally recognized for being baseball players. No, greetings, Marv and Leonardo. Pepe asks if I know what happened with the Jeffrey Epstein case. When the mess comes out, there's already the Middle East conflict. It's to cover everything up, says Leonardo. Look, it has kept moving forward. I mean, no. Remember that there were more documents and more information about how this supposed suicide happened, right? Now, a prisoner spoke who said that supposedly a week before, he had tried again before taking his own life. And he brings up the letter that he supposedly left. They've also seen the fake Epstein. So there's a guy out there who looks exactly like him, even down to the position of his teeth, and he even changed them because he realized he looked too much like him and wants to be a politician. Yes.
He wants to
run for mayor. The truth is, it really creeps you out because, I mean, you see him, and he looks way too much like him. It's like voting for Ames. I don't know. It would feel really weird to me, honestly. I hope it goes well for him, but I don't think so. He lacks a certain charm, and the way he talks feels kind of creepy. Maybe it's because of the image this Epstein figure creates. And watch out, because there's an investigation going on at this ranch where, what's the name of the ranch? Do you remember? El Zorro? Well, much worse things happened at that ranch than on Epstein's Island too. and investigations are being carried out there. But there's also censorship. I mean, they're trying to cover up that part. Researchers who are trying to uncover how that whole process worked have been under pressure. Greetings, Javier. How have you been? Ecuador soccer. Awesome, Javier. Baba, awesome. So it's more about soccer, Baba, awesome. Pixel, how have you been? Hi. Hello. Well, let's move on to some other interesting topics too.
Well, today Donald Trump announces a move that's quite significant. And it's that they reportedly took the life of Niño Guerrero, who is the leader of the famous Tren de Aragua cartel, which Donald Trump, basically since he began his second presidency, has declared war against this cartel. It's known that it has ties in Venezuela and in different countries, but in the US, and they started to be in certain cities, we started to follow their cause. And well, the president states today that the US Southern Command, called Southcom, carried out a kinetic, rapid, and lethal attack. This happened in Venezuela. And they eliminated Hector Rusden. Ford Guerrero Flores he's called Rusas, also known as El Niño Guerrero, leader of the Tren de Aragua. An organization that, well, has been described by Donald Trump as one of the bloodiest on the planet. He says, "During my campaign, I promised to expel these monsters from our country and to bring justice to the families of their victims, including little Jocelyn Nungaray, 12 years old, and Laken Riley, 22, and many other people." And well, he actually posted a video about 10 seconds long where you can see the attack that was carried out against this individual.
Well, you can see a bit of the attack there, and you can see the message. I mean, the message was right there. The video supposedly showing the attack on this person. We'll see if this
was coordinated with the government of Venezuela, and now whatever they ask for, they get. And they've been maintaining, as Donald Trump says, an excellent relationship.
Sato. Well, they're some of those key figures in how these organized crime groups used to operate, or maybe still do. Now, the question here for Colombians and Venezuelans is, how do you see these kinds of movements? I mean, do you think that creates any change, or is it the usual thing where if you take out one leader, they just replace him with another or even two or three more? I mean, that's also the case. Well, that's the question I'm asking you. But if not, it's still something interesting that's happening, because people were saying, how are they just going to be attacking little boats in the Atlantic, in the Caribbean, if the leaders are over there, maybe in the jungle or who knows where, right? Well, that's how things are on that topic. Let's move on to other important points.
We interrupt your programming.
Hey, speaking of weird news, right? It's time for some weird news right now. It's known that there are spy dolphins and bomb dolphins and things like that. I mean, they train dolphins or certain types of cetaceans, right, to operate. But China is taking it to another level. I don't know. I think at this point it's more like paranoia. Pero dice China que, well, there's suspicion about it. There were two news stories related to spies today. We'll talk in a moment about the American who was detained.
I haven't mentioned it.
Nothing was left pending.
Déjame la busco para-
Tenía esa nota, along with the one about the turtles, but it says China. If you want, we can look at that right now. But China suspects that enemy countries are literally using turtles, tortugas, para espiarlo, and with other animals. What's going on?
Exactly. Well, what the Chinese government says is a warning, because they claim that at an international level, it's a warning that foreign agencies might be using marine animals to gather information. This information was distributed by China's Ministry of State Security and was echoed in several countries. The agency claims that sea turtles Fish and other aquatic animals had been equipped with electronic devices to be used for surveillance tasks and the collection of strategic data. According to the official version in China, this activity would be part of a covert espionage war related to its maritime operations, naval movements, and energy resources located off the coast of China. Well, the thing is, China is always making moves, doing things it shouldn't, like creating islands in places that are very far from its own country just to have more territory. Well, this information shows up here.
I see Pixar here. And China sees some spies, right? There are some other spies.
Basically, what they say is that these fish, turtles, you see them every time the big spy comes.
The shark really does look like a spy. Yes.
Well, that these fish, these whales, these turtles would be checking movements of Chinese military vessels, creation of underwater maps, naval activity in strategic areas, location of possible oil and gas deposits, and oceanographic conditions and sea routes. They also warned about the use of detection buoys, autonomous ocean gliders, and devices installed on vessels. Well, that's true. The thing about the turtles is more plausible. I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, or I don't know what. I mean, you go. Now, anything is possible. Yeah, anything is possible. I mean, they've done it, for example, with cockroaches and insects. Like they put a transmitter on them and control their movement. So, I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm laughing right now. But the truth is, it really could be real. I mean, it really could. I mean, this exists. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. Now, the fact that they might have seen something and haven't shown it, well, maybe that makes us suspicious and wonder what they're really going to do. Time will tell, right? But just imagine turtles, spies, the ones who should we suspect the most? No. What I would see as more likely as a potential spy are pigeons.
Oh, they get everywhere. And cats have also been used since World War I.
And cats too. For example, cats are used in prisons, and we've talked about that here. Catch a drug trafficking cat, because yes, kittens are trained to carry drugs and things like that into prisons. So, that too. This as well. That's the thing. Let's move on to other important topics. Hey, changing the subject. But in Trinidad and Tobago, there appears to be a new spill this time. Yet another spill. There's a post that's been showing up on social media, this image, where you can see these slicks appearing. Apparently from hydrocarbon spills coming from Trinidad and Tobago, which they claim is a spill of quite a large magnitude. What is known about this?
To begin with, there is no communication between these two countries. There have been problems since the United States was operating there. How strange? Because the United States already got along with Venezuela, and now those two have ended up at odds with each other. Well, Caracas says that the spill is confirmed by satellite images. Well, are you looking at one of those? And it points out that several organizations have activated monitoring and mitigation protocols to protect the affected coasts. Venezuela has also asked the government of Trinidad and Tobago to take immediate measures to prevent new incidents and to ensure full transparency about the causes, the scope, and the consequences of this spill.
That's how things are. They say he trusts the penguins of Madagascar, but they're excellent. Those spies are really good. Both the English character and Spanish dubbing are great. Honestly, they are. I'm not sure who did the US version. Yeah, the penguins and Puss in Boots, says Panterita. Greetings, he says. The news about Earth Water Day has already been given. Yes, Marvin was eliminated. We were just talking about it a moment ago. Exactly. Yes. He says pollution in the sea. Poor marine life. Yes, it's terrible. Exactly. Well, it says 600 years before Christ. It was written about everything we see in here. It says Carlos Martinez. How have you been, Carlos? Hello. What do you mean by that, Carlos? Sending greetings. And well, let's move on to other important matters as well.
Well, today, Putin made a very curious statement, claiming that Ukraine wants to divide the Russians. This comes after there have been very strong attacks on Crimea and a severe shortage. In the morning, I showed Pepe a video of the spokesperson from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I think it was her, right? That woman was claiming that they were asking for help or humanitarian aid, basically wanting them to send oil to those areas. According to him, Putin says their goal is to create division in Russian society, sow confusion, and inflict economic damage. But they won't succeed, he says. He advocated again for strengthening their defense system. And why does he say this? Because you can already see the discontent. It's been showing for several months now on the part of the Russians, because they are already experiencing the war. They are the ones living through it right now. It's just a small part of what the Ukrainians have experienced for more than 4 years, and obviously there's already discontent, and that's what worries him. Isn't it true that we're seeing this anger, this frustration from the Russian population who are left without internet, who now don't have gasoline and are resorting to stealing? Among them, the few who have gasoline, there's also an increase in food prices. Are all these problems starting to get to Vladimir Putin? No.
Exactly. Also, well, you saw this Marco Rubio.
Es que se volvió viral esa foto, ¿no?
Sí.
Some blonde people. No
¿Vieron?
rubios, guys.
¿Vieron? Ah, sí, sí. Marco Rubio dressed like this. Because
In the morning, a photo of Trump with some supposedly blonde individuals went viral again. Like, because of the whole alien thing. But obviously, it's a photo AI generated, doctored. And the same photo or a similar one was also shared, but with Xi Jinping. So now they put Marco Rubio, who would be one of those aliens.
what do they call those aliens? It's that photo where supposedly he's talking there with a rock band. I mean, with some aliens.
Los aliens también hay una de Xi Jinping, haz de cuenta, con los mismos tipos. Entonces, bueno, se han estado...
¿Cómo se llaman los? Hijo, tiene un nombre. Los nórdicos, ¿no?
Ah, los nórdicos.
Los nórdicos me parece que se llaman.
Pues estos sí están muy pálidos.
Oye, pero estos ya son
vampiros,
los vampirescos, ¿verdad? O sea, sí están muy blancos.
O sea, está el mismo
O sea
color que la pared.
Ya tú te ves ahí, tú te ves morena ahí.
Yo soy morena,
Sí, no,
O sea,
pues.
el Trump es bien rosa y lo all pale.
Gray, exactly. White hair and all that stuff. Or well, this is part of it. Look, here's another one. Look, this one turned out prettier.
Yeah. There it is. See? The other one. She made it look real by making it dirty.
This one was good. Yeah, aquí estás hablando.
Yeah. These guys really have nothing better to do. Unbelievable. And they're so rich.
Yeah, well, they always joke about that. Now, like today, it was time for the declassification, or let's say a bonus de la desclasificación, que pues it's starting to get more and more interesting. I mean, que hay como más interés.
Right.
You're talking about scientists who never used to talk about the subject, and now they're starting to get encouraged to talk about it, right? All right, let's go. There they are. Regreso. Ahí está. Greeting with a little music. Well, that's cool. He's also with Xi Jinping. There he is, just like that. Also with Xi Jinping, checking out what's going on, what's happening in the world. Just talking. Let's move on to other matters. Let's talk about other important topics. ¿Algo más de esto?
Sí, bueno, una cosa más de Putin, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Esto de los aliens fue un paréntesis.
Sí, no sé ni en qué punto empezamos a hablar de esto.
Porque tú pusiste foto de Marco
perdón,
Rubio.
perdón. Fui distractor, perdón.
Bueno, Putin, he also claims that he already has a satellite network better than Starlink. I mean, step aside.
Because Russia is Putin.
He's already here and already better than Starlink, despite all the years. It's taken Starlink to build this network.
Okay, it's missing. Okay.
Several Starlink satellites are missing.
Thousands.
According to him, in no time they already have Russian Starlink and can now control the nuclear war drones. Unless his generals really tell him all these people he has there, because honestly, they're making a fool out of him. I mean, where does he get the idea that his control will be greater than Starlink's after all the time it took him to get to this position?
It's just ridiculous. This is the weekend. This postpart, well, Putin is just talking nonsense. Well,
Do you know how many satellites they've launched? Well,
and they say, no, with 16, they don't cover anything. I mean, the idea of Starlink is to have 19,000 satellites in space to be able to achieve this. They're smoking the peace pipe. It would be like the pipe of, I don't know what they'll call it, universe. Well, that's what Putin says they've got him in check. They sell Putin the idea. They sugarcoat it for him, as they say. And they tell him, look, everything is perfect. Everything is fine. And well, I mean, he decides to believe them, right? In the end, doesn't he? The system isn't bloated. Just look at it. No, it was good. Guamazo.
no te estás peleando con la raqueta, siempre vas a perder. Con la raqueta siempre pierdo.
Yo le gané.
Sí. It broke?
No.
Todo
No se
lejos.
rompió. De hecho, aquí tengo el hielo, mira.
Ay, Pepe.
Sí.
Ponle ahí
Pasa
cerrito,
nada,
no,
no pasa
de tu celular. Bueno.
It says the movie I know they released today. Goodbye. We haven't seen it. I mean, according to now really like this, where I see myself watching, I would like to see it. Now, but I think I'm going to wait at least a week, or I don't know. So it won't be so crowded. I mean, I wouldn't want to be like that. ¿Verdad? En la show, if it's a comedy, I watch it with a lot of people, but for this kind of movie, I'd rather watch it with as few people as possible. It'll be hard to avoid spoilers, but it doesn't really matter. La disfrutaré seguramente. And you really have to watch it in the theater. I mean, well, if you're a fan of the topic, then you obviously have to watch it in the theater. He says, and how have you been? Why are you hitting Astrid? He says, Carmen, how have you been? He says, hello, my buddy believes it. He says, it was Petro who sent him a cigarette. He says, ¿Cómo has estado, Aurelio? Aurelio, hi, Gabriel. Aurelio Garcia, how are you? What's new in New Mexico? Marcela, greetings all the way to Chile. That's great. Enjoy the food over there. Roblox. They're really good, like the ones in the movie. Just like in the movie, Twilight. Exactly. Yes, exactly. All that was missing was the wolf beside him, right? A wolf guy, right?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw the first one. Yeah, I did see the first one.
I never saw.
I saw it, of course. No.
Never seen it. Honestly, Kristen Stewart makes me really bored.
Sí, no, bueno, I mean, because everyone was watching it, so I had to watch it. I was watching all the time, all las películas. Let's move on to other important matters. They keep the comments going, right?
The important thing, the most important thing. Gentlemen, your opinion is the most important thing. Hello to Garman Ibarra. How are you?
And how are you, Garmin?
Greetings.
Martinez also says, I'm leaving happy. Good night to everyone. It's beautiful on this beautiful continent, says Carlos. Greetings, Carlos.
There's a mystery. And greetings, Carlos. There's a mystery happening here in Nuevo León that's going unnoticed almost everywhere. I thought you'd guess it right away when I mentioned the mystery. There really is one. Let's see, those here in Nuevo León. Just a few, I think.
There are more.
Well, the point is that suddenly we've had years where the pollution is absurd. It's crazy, absurd. I mean, it's crazy, right? People have forgotten what the mountains look like, what a beautiful sky looks like and all that, right? Just like that. In places where we go walking or running, I found signs from people saying, where is the Cerro de la Silla? It's like criticizing that you can't see the Cerro de la Silla anymore because of all the pollution. Suddenly the World Cup is coming. Suddenly everything is perfect.
Lee, because we'll always do our best to fix things.
You can see all the hills. They're beautiful. Rainbows, man. It was ridiculous. Even a rainbow like that. Super pretty. The idea started going around. I mentioned it to Astrid. I mentioned it to my brother. Yeah. I talked about it for like 2 or 3 weeks. I said, hey, it's really crazy. It looks super nice. I said, what a coincidence. It's like they're fixing it up for the World Cup. I told you, right? But a lot of people have the same thought. So they've been recording that video. And they say, hey, I've been looking at the mountains for years. Now everything looks blurry like that. And now suddenly everything is visible. But anyway, just so you know, is that you're... Well, the point is that there's this idea. And I have my theories. One is that they could talk. Here's one. They estimate that about 40% of the pollution in Nuevo León is caused by the refinery. So if they move the refinery away, 40% of the problem would be solved. Which city that's super polluted has that option? I mean, that's where the problem is. Remove it, and you'll see more and more electric cars. You see, everyone is making an effort to pollute less. Some industries have already shut down. One part comes from the refinery and another is, what do they call them?
The industries.
No. But the other thing they do, they extract rocks.
Yes, the quarries. The quarries.
It's another percentage. And then also the industries, the cars. It's a very small percentage compared to everything else. If you come to Monterrey right now, or if you're in Monterrey, go outside and look at the sky. It's impressive. Honestly, I didn't even remember. It was like that. It looks beautiful, but usually when it rains, it only stays that way for an hour before everything gets dirty again. But right now it's been clean all day. Then another day passes and it's clean again and again. And you think that's crazy, right? I mean, hopefully they'll keep it like this, right? Whatever it is they've done, I hope they leave it like that. So it keeps looking this good. And they're going to say it was the rain. Yeah. Okay. It was the rain, but 1 day, 2 days, it's been like this for weeks now. I mean, well, yeah, it is, at least it's interesting. I mean, it really is. You'll probably be seeing images like this often. Well, what else? What else is the community saying out there?
Let's also say hi to Rosa, who says, is it true? Now you can even see the hills we forgot existed? Naturally, agreements were made to significantly reduce pollutant emissions during this period. Let's also say hi to Panterita. She's agreeing with you, Rosa. I didn't know you were here. Greetings to Aurelio Garcia, who says, did they already take the electric cars out of the garage because of how expensive gas is? They've been here in Monterrey for a while now. Greetings to Omar Trujillo. Greetings to Uruguay. Pepe says, Uruguay has won 4 World Cups. I think Uruguay has more World Cups than Argentina, as far as I know. Pero, por favor, ilumine, because honestly, my ignorance about soccer is huge. Greetings to Mario Esteves. Warm regards from Havana, Cuba. How are you, Mario? How's everything in Havana?
My brother recorded this. No, not that. This was recorded by my brother. He sent it to me a while ago.
Pecari.
Pecari is here in Nuevo León where he was. Look.
Toda la familia.
That's how a bunch of them roam around. Is it this one? There go the little ones running around like it's nothing. They look like wild boars, but they're smaller. I'm not sure if they have tusks, but I guess they do. But anyway, they're pretty funny too. They're always in a group. There's always a bunch of them. I mean, if you see one, it means there's a whole bunch more around, right? Look. They're really close-knit. Well, that was it. My brother took this picture too. And speaking of my brother, that picture is from today, right in the middle of the city. Check out how beautiful the sky is. There's even a rainbow in the background. You might be able to see it. No, realize that I said, let's make the city look beautiful. I think so. They talked to some industries. I mean, what I imagine is they talked to some industries and told them, take it easy. Or don't pollute from now until the end of the month, or I don't know. Algo así. That by August or September, the beautiful Monterrey we know will be back again. Gray. I don't know this. Let's see. The question here is very simple. Guadalajara, Mexico City, which are also World Cup cities. How are they doing? I mean, is the sky clear or is it just as polluted as always? And was it just a coincidence that it got less polluted here for a while? Leave your comment there, please. Well, what else?
It says here, Omar says, 2 of those World Cups from Uruguay, as I understand it, are Olympic Games, so they're not 4 World Cups. And then Deso says Uruguay's World Cups are a whole controversy. They count 2 of their Olympic medals when FIFA organized the Olympic tournament. But the World Cups from Uruguay are a whole controversy. Ah, okay. So as World Cups, it's really 2, not 4. But they like to say 4.
Vaya. Yeah. Look, here it is. Tell me, what's the reality about the World Cups? Brazil, 5 titles. Germany, 4 titles. Italy, 4 titles. Argentina, 3 titles. Uruguay, 2 titles. France, 2 titles. England, 1 title. Spain, 1 title. Mexico, 1 title. I loved hearing the other day this kid, Mora, the 16 or 17-year-old, saying, "We're going to win the World Cup," just like that, in so many words. That's how it should be done. Not even the players dare to say it like that. Even if you're from Haiti, maybe the country you least expect, as a player, you have to say you'll win the World Cup. Otherwise, you shouldn't play, right?
We're really going to be our best.
No, you're going to win the World Cup. Even if you're... O sea, yo siento que... That attitude really annoys me. De vamos a ser sencillos. Not, we're making the effort. We're going to win the World Cup. If we don't, that's just how it goes. But my mindset stays focused. Estaba para ganar el Mundial. That's how it has to be. Hey, you know Brazil might be stronger? Or I don't know who. Well, yeah, I'm not naive either. But we're going to win the World Cup. Period. That's what we're going for. We're not going for anything else but to win the World Cup. That's how you have to think. I'm really glad that someone so young has that mentality, honestly. I mean, yeah, I hope others have it too. Anyway, what else?
Leonardo says, "Daddy, I was watching the Canada game and I wanted them to win. They had a lot of shots on goal and one that almost went in," says Leonardo. Greetings from Leonardo.
Okay. So basically they didn't get the result. I mean, but okay.
I also thought that during the Canada event, people booed the United States flag, and this journalist is mentioning it right now. But when it was in the United States, I mean, at the United States opening ceremony, they applauded both the Canadian and the United States flags. Yeah, that's the thing. The US government has behaved very badly with them. Obviously, we don't have any problem with them. Greetings also to Rublo, MX with these, and Panterita. And I know Monterrey, and I think it's beautiful, and I never saw any pollution. Have you played in El Limpio?
How long ago did you come? Who said that? Panterita?
Panterita, yeah.
How long ago did you come, Panterita?
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah, it used to be very normal, but it's been several years now. I don't know if the pollution is bad. You also get used to it, honestly. It's like the frog. What do you call that frog? The one they slowly boil. You get used to it until days like this make you think, oh man, this is how Monterrey used to be years ago? Or was it always normal to see these sunsets and everything like this? Really beautiful. It was normal 3 or 4 days a week. And then after that, also it was news when it was really polluted and you could see the layer of pollution. And that day it was news. Today it started out really polluted. Ray, look, it's true. That used to be the news. Now it's the other way around. When it's clean, it's news. Look, it's clean today. It's clean. So things do change, he says. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, says Panterito. Okay. A while ago.
Greetings to Raul Cesar. Yes, my mom dreamed of going to the Cerro de la Silla until one day she finally did. That's good, Angarma. Greetings to Milanesa too, who's watching you. Hello, Milanesa.
Hello, Milanesa. Greetings to you. If you've got a bit of stamina, do this hike up. Cerro de la Silla, right? I mean, it's a route, right? And just go with your backpack, good sneakers, and go slowly or, well, at your own pace. And you can get, if you're really experienced, you can reach the peak, but you can also climb much of the mountain up to the antennas. It's one of the spots that you might really like, and it looks pretty good. Omar says,
He says, yes, if they give 4 to Uruguay, we would have to give 1 to Mexico, because Mexico has one at the Olímpico.
at the Olympic too, of course.
Greetings, Estapatia. It's clean because Guadalajara is in the valley and the air flows.
Yeah, okay. So normally it's already very clean then, but that's normal for you. Okay. Very good, Tapate.
She says, greetings to Aurelio Garcia. Yes, with a winner's mindset. Yes. I recall the U17 team had that mindset. Do you remember? When they were there, when they won the U17 World Cup, Giovanni was there, Chicharito was there, and Carlos Vela was there. And what happened is that they lost along the way, because they definitely lost. But I remember that they had a lot. I don't remember who the coach was, but the coach really instilled that vibe in them. I remember that in interviews they always said, like, no, we're going to win, because they beat Brazil at that point.
And it had a big impact. World champions.
How many?
O sea, bueno, glad they're working on that mentality. Hopefully there'll be more of it. Including the stories of each player. And many of their stories are very interesting. We're going to try to keep an eye on that topic, he says. Over here, saying, hello, Roble. How have you been? Greetings. Hello, Roble. How are things over there? Greetings to Cuba, to the whole community over there, says Scorpion. It's a group that brings back memories for me, he says. Greetings. Is it Wyckoff?
I haven't been to Monterrey since 2010. A ver, Scorpions.
Scorpions. Such. How was the Wiki's concert? He says. Have you seen the planets Venus and Jupiter so close to each other these days? It's spectacular to watch them come so close. It's very, very beautiful. And I happened to see the videos. No, he's not looking for us. But yesterday when we were looking at the sky, it was beautiful too. They were there. You know, the classic Venus star, right? What you see there, it looks really beautiful. Yes, I saw it. It looks really nice. I don't know if they're in some kind of, what do you call it, conjunction or whatever, right? But I did see that they were around there. Really, really cool. He says, okay. He says Jesus Ramirez was the coach of the under-17 team, says Adais.
Yes, he worked really hard. Greetings to Marvin. He says, that's a business and FIFA wants the money. The fans, yes. But here we Mexicans got our own Mayans. About a guy who brought one. I don't know if you saw it. It looks like a cell phone. But if you press a button, the lid pops open and it has alcohol inside. Sí. Tamañosos. Greetings.
What the girls wear. There's like a kind of bow. And it looks like a bow. Like really bow-like, right? And really, it's just pure life. Or
it has a lot and they hide.
The bow is huge. And it's really almost like a balloon full of alcohol.
Dice, by Huskin Clement, who's going to win? Holland? The Netherlands?
But the Netherlands. I've seen several predictions that mention the Netherlands as the champion.
Exactly. Yes.
But no, I haven't seen the one you're talking about.
Candy says in Mexico City the pollution is the same. Several areas with standing water today, but the sky is normal. Greetings.
Candy.
Greetings, says Garma. Greetings. Pixel says I'm here celebrating that Mexico won. How wonderful that Chile's boyfriend won. Greetings. Greetings also to, says Leonardo. Nah, man, I'm so lazy. Now I go to Cerro de la Silla and I lie down on the ground.
Greetings, Bernardo. Google. I can't imagine. Now they even sell you the baby. Look, they sell you.
Well, the baby is actually very good.
No. You have it there. I mean, you carry it here. Yes, and you know that. No, you're really carrying it there.
The alcohol, right?
I mean, yeah. It's just, the bracelet. Look, there it is. There's the baby. Lo traes como que estuviera asleep. Y ahí, ¿no? Ahí se esconde todo. Even this diaper is tough for me. I mean, like underwear.
The tie.
Underwear with a tie. It would be weird to walk in wearing just a tie.
Saben que con estilo, unos chavos japoneses, Koreans, they tried bringing in a bottle of tequila but were refused, so they drank it all. They invited some Mexicans who helped finish it. Would you throw it away? Of course not. You couldn't. Saludos, dice acá, Wico, Pepe en vivo. No nos han mostrado los tejones que andan en el Cerro de la Silla. ¿Qué tejones?
Tiene razón. Ahí va, mira. Los cuatis. Sí.
Cuatis.
El otro día creo que sí los mostré. No los mostré. Pero déjame y se los pongo por aquí. Le tomé fotos a varios. Nomás déjame y me lo tomando. Los tengo aquí. ¿A quién se los mandé? Ya me acuerdo a quién se los mandé. Se los mandé a mi hijo mayor. Entonces, aquí los debo tener. Cuatis, ¿verdad?
Cuatis.
A los famosos cuatis, que también les dicen tejones, ¿verdad? Y espérame tantito. Sí, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Le dicen tejones también. Ahí está, mira.
Yo entiendo que el tejón es otro animal, pero bueno.
Ah, pues a lo mejor, mira, pues, este es el que yo le tomé. Es esta última vez que fuimos al cerro. Ahí está, míralo.
Está comiendo un panecito.
Está comiendo un panecito. Bien gordito. Bien gordito O sea, se ve que es chifladón así por tema, ¿cómo se llama? Turístico, ¿no? O sea, a ver, me pongo otra foto, es que no me deja cambiar la foto. Pero mira, aquí está. Ahí está comiendo su panecito bien contento. Ahí la gente pues le daba, ¿no? O sea, la gente le daba su panecito y lo que sea. Ya que se acabó la comida, pues ya ni nos peló, ¿verdad? Ya se fue. Pero sí andan varios así, bueno, cuatis, yo los conozco así como cuatis. Sí andaban varios, la verdad es que sí, está lleno ahí, nomás que nosotros nomás vimos esa vez ese, nada más, ¿no?
Ujú.
Sí, aquí está. Ahí está.
Saludos a Marilena, ¿cómo estás? Saludos hasta Tetehuacán. Dice, aquí estamos, familia Quiroso, no fue feliz
Qué
día,
bueno.
cumpleaños y ánimo enfermito. Saludos, Marilena.
Saludos, Marilena, muy buenas a Marcela también, saludos hasta Costa Rica.
Dice
¿Cómo
Francisco
andas?
Arcel Cuatino es un tejón, no, el tejón no es.
No, es que el tejón es
son
otro,
diferentes.
sí, el tejón es otro, sí.
Saludos a Raúl Sachs. Dice, también en el cerro de Tepoztlán, en Morelos hay tejones.
Sí. Sí, no, estos son cuatis. Estos andan en grupo
Sí,
normalmente.
pero los tejones son
Sí.
agresivos, ¿no? Según yo entiendo.
Pues se llama que sí son más intensos.
Más intensillos.
Sí.
Saludos a Marcela G, que saludos de Costa Rica, de camino al trabajo. Saludos, Marcela, que te vaya bien.
Sí, el tejón yo creo que aquí ni hay, yo creo.
No hay aquí.
Sí, no, aquí no.
No, el tejón es Wolverine, ¿no?
Achis.
Wolverine es un tejón. Sí.
No. ¿En serio?
Bueno, no, ese es un cuati. El de arriba.
¿Este?
Ese es un tejón.
¿Este qué es?
Ese es un cuati. El del café, ese es un tejón.
Ahí está. Bueno, ahí está, ¿no? Ese es el asunto. Mira, ese lo pone como tejón también.
Ah, qué raro.
O sea, a lo mejor el tejón también es un tipo.
A lo mejor es pariente del cuati.
Sí, a lo mejor es un tipo de. Sí, mira, lo pone ahí.
Ah.
O sea que entonces el tejón sí es un cuatí o qué, a ver.
Dice,
Un
pero
chico.
¿dónde dice tejón? Ahí dice cuatí, pisote o choluga. Ah, también tejón.
Sí, es lo mismo. Sí,
Qué
sí son el mismo
loco.
animal. Dice, en México a menudo se le llama tejón mexicano o cuatí. Sí, son lo mismo.
Ah, mira.
Mira,
Bueno, ya
son
nos
lo mismo,
iluminamos.
Francisco Arce. Estamos equivocados, fíjate. Son sí, tejones porque sí son tejones y cuatis lo mismo. Ok.
Ah, mira.
Buenísimo,
Bueno,
¿no? Y
ya
los
aprendimos
cazan
algo.
para comer. No.
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 No, ¿por qué?
Sí. No, ese no.
No, eso no se come.
A los ¿cómo se llaman? Los que son parecen de
A los cereques sí. del
No.
sur.
A los otros que
¿A
parecen los que tomó mi hermano.
A los pecarís.
Pecarís.
¿También?
Los pecarís sí los cazan.
Ah, no sé.
Sí, los cazan.
Sí, es
Pero
lógico, a sus cerditos.
sí. Eso sí los cazan y hacen carne. O sea, que sepa sí los cazan a eso. Pero los cuatis no sé por qué no, pero no, sepa no. Dice, cuatis son en Tepoztlán, dice Raúl. Saludos, Raúl. Dice, dice, el cuatí y el tejón son nombres comunes que muchas veces se usan para referirse al mismo animal, especialmente en México. Sí, Wilcoff, aquí por lo que estoy viendo, sí es el mismo, ¿no? Exactamente. Dice, okay. ¿Qué más hay por ahí?
Saludos dice Nina, la querida Bosnia empató a Canadá. Dice Nina, sí, quedaron empatadillos. Saludos a Leonardo.
¿Quién?
que dice
Ah, en Canadá, sí,
Sí.
claro.
Dice, chiste, ¿cuál es el pato más loco? Donald Trump.
Ya está, está buena. Saludos, papá de Novak. Muy buenas. Dice, ya no pongan la foto de los viciosos. Dice, ya sé, ¿verdad?
¿Qué dices?
Estos locos que están ahí,
ya.
los aliens con trompetas ahí. Dice, Rulo dice, okay, Pepe dice, los pecados no son los mismos, los pecarís, dice, no son lo mismo que el jabalí. No, son los mismos, estos son más chiquitos.
Sí, los pecados son más chiquitos y sus colmillos son muy chiquititos.
Sí,
y
los
es que
otros sí tienen un colmillón,
Sí.
el jabalí. Y sí, exacto. Ese es pecarí. Vamos a poner la diferencia aquí.
Greetings to Ofe. She says, "Oh no, poor things. I hardly eat meat, but I should eat meat." Greetings, Ofe.
How have you been?
Greetings to Pecaris and Rosalinda. Warm greetings, Pepe. I'm already in the community. Hi, Rosalinda. How are you?
Hi, good evening.
Greetings as well. Let's see. Who have we greeted? We greet Adelina, and Rosalinda says, greetings. Well, it's not for us. Greetings to Pixel Cat as well. And Angie says, did you hear?
Greetings. Good evening.
Greetings. Paterita says, I have fangs and your little panther. Your little screens pop out. And it looks like you don't even play the game between Canada and Serbia will be really tough. Digo, y Serbia y Bosnia.
Yeah.
Yolanda Ortega says, how are you, Yolanda? Hello, good evening, greetings, Yolanda. Where are you watching from?
There are so many of them, and they're very close relatives.
They're all family.
There are a lot of them. I mean, I wanted to look for the differences, but it shows me all of this. It's just that there are so many. There are the peccaries, there are the wild boars. There are all kinds of them. There are a ton of them too.
Where are the pigs there?
These are just the... No, these are the wild pigs. They call them
Wild pigs.
Yeah, I mean, these are the wild pigs.
Or all of those can be eaten.
All the... Shanks.
Well, and also, do you remember that when Game of Thrones was made, they brought back a type of pig too? I mean, besides, we have brought back pigs, Gabriela's pigs, and if the animals are armed, says Gabriel. Sorry, Gabriel.
Yes. Well, yes, definitely. Gabriel. Huge greeting says Dobrissimo. Well, in Croatian, greetings, Nina. How are you, Nina? Huge shout out, Nina. Marvin, Rosalinda, huge shout out to you too. They say there are many wild boars in Yucatan.
Is it called peccary?
Yes. Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're in the same group. In fact, they call it peccary or Mexican wild boar.
He says that there are no phrases. Lying. Lying to someone to keep them is the worst way to lose them. As he says, lying to someone to keep them is the worst way to lose them.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. He says they're not the same, even though they belong to the same order. Close relatives and belong to different biological families, and they have noticeably different physical traits and behaviors. The peccary is native to America. They're smaller, measuring up to 140 centimeters and weighing about 15 to 40 kilos, and their tusks are short and straight. They don't stick out from their snout. The wild boar is from Eurasia and North Africa and was introduced to the American continent. They weren't originally from here. They're bigger, more robust, and have long curved tusks that stick out noticeably from their mouths.
They're more aggressive. Wild boars and peccaries often gather but leave when they get along. From the other phrase from Dad, isn't it that if he pretends to be missed, he risks being forgotten?
Hey, but there are wild boars. So is it?
Because they were introduced. Whoever tries to make people miss them risks being forgotten.
That's good. That's good. Good point. Hey, saludos. Papá de Nova, siempre con sus frases. Says Nina. Greetings to you all listening at this hour. Champs. He says, greetings, Nina. Of course, what are these called? The huge ones. You know, they're super tasty. What's the name? That's also Portobello. He says, I go to Chapultepec to hunt. He says, dice el jabalí, javelina and the highball, says Omar. How are you? Hello, everyone. Well, look, just a reminder. There's the link on the screen so you can leave us a comment. That's a comment that goes straight here. And we'll play it. Obviously, any audio you send us, we'll play it here. So that when you send your report, your comment about some news, about some situation that you are seeing over there, so that it appears here in the community, this is your space. In case you want to use it, it would be our pleasure. He says Trump is like an introduced wild boar. Invader, yes. Invader, yes. Also. This one says, well, let's go.
Guys, remember that we're on WhatsApp, we're on Telegram. There on Telegram, you can leave messages about what you think about any topics you want or just to say hi. And we're also on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Hugs. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow we're doing series and movies.
They recommend Out of Space.
Out of Space, he says. ¿Eso cuál es?
It's Out of Space.
Color Out recommendation. It's on Prime. Va, Francisco, I'll write it down. Nomás antes de irnos porque no se me olvida. Let's write it down tomorrow. Then that's what I wanted to tell you. Hay que ponerse. We need to get right on the Disclosure Day one, and we have to get right to the Spielberg one too, right? I mean, they're two movies that really reveal a lot about the times we live in, right? The información and declassification, like maybe never before in history. So, well, I'm going to get on that one, but I need to write it down. Let's see if you can find it somewhere. We didn't talk about the movies. I think here it is. We've been writing down movies for several weeks. Y la estoy ordenando por, ¿cómo se llama? Por género.
And this one didn't come to mind.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué pasa por ahí?
Dice Germán, los quiero mucho. Saludos, Germán.
Eso, Germán. Igualmente. También te queremos, Germán. Saludos hasta Argentina.
Saludos a Marvin. Dice dulces sueños.
Enormes saludos.
Saludos,
Muchísimas
saludos,
gracias. Que se la pasen súper bien. Mañana toca hablar de películas también. Así que, pues bueno, y en la mañana vamos a tratar de estar platicando ahí con Girés. Vamos a transmitir, obviamente, las transmisiones de la mañana de las noticias normales, como todos los días. Un abrazo, que esté muy bien. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego.
Interrumpimos su programación habitual. Gracias por sintonizar la verdad. Esto es Pepe en vivo. La verdad es intensa. Lo insólito es real. Aquí lo analizamos, enfoque global. No te quedes fuera, conecta al canal. Pepe en vivo controlando la señal. Pepe y Astrid tirando la neta. Periodismo crudo, aquí se respeta. Activa la alerta, no pierdas la pista. Hasta la próxima. ¡Sí, señor! Pasamos lista.